Welcome to I Say Yes and with Alicia Larson, the podcast where we dive into all things spiritual and watch as we grow as humans and expand as the powerful spiritual beings we know we are. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about leaning into the energy around you and what that means when you start to see it. Now, I know everyone has walked into a room and you have felt energy. And a lot of times growing up, I feel like we would observe that and it would just kind of be brushed off as like, the vibe wasn't right, or, I was at work and the energy was so heavy or so stressful. But we're not really acknowledging the energy. But when we start to lean into the energy around us, you can start to see that things do matter when we weren't really acknowledging it before. The people you spend your time with, their energy impacts your energy. The type of job you have impacts your energy. The kind of boundaries that you've created and whether other people respect those boundaries, that matters for sure. Or just putting yourself out there and going out to new experiences and seeing how that vibe is. I know for a while I was doing things, I was taking myself places on my own. And I would go to paint classes, or I went to the theater a lot, and you really start to recognize and acknowledge the energy of the people around you in these spaces. And there were times when it was a potential future hobby that I could have been doing, but the vibe was not the vibe that I wanted in my life. So did I sign up for that again? No. And that doesn't mean you don't try it again in a different way or anything like that. It's just you start seeing like, oh, that was not a good time for me. Now, when you're going with your friends, the vibe is different. Especially if you have a friend who is super into that thing, looking into it. It's kind of like you're showing up for that person. You aren't necessarily interested in archery, but the person you're dating is super into it. So yeah, let's go to the archery and do that for an afternoon. That's cool, and you can still have a great and beautiful time, but it's not necessarily your thing. But when you're leaning into the energy around you, you also can start to feel, oh, is that something I want to continue to pursue? Now, when you're on your own, it's easier to see that because you have only yourself to keep happy. I know that for myself, if I'm there with my friends, I want to check in, make sure everyone's having as good of a time as possible. But when it's just me, when I'm taking myself out somewhere, it's up to me to feel that energy and know that vibe. And so it does change things slightly. And so if you take anything from this episode, it's to allow yourself to do something completely on your own, just to feel the energy. Because I promise you, you'll experience it in a different way when you acknowledge the energy is all around you all the time. And so with that, I also want to bring up the touchy subject of words matter. And I know nobody wants to say this, and I know even as a child when my parents were like, we don't want you listening to this music, I would say, but it's just a song. It's not that big of a deal. And then I got older and I listened to some of the songs that my parents didn't want me to listen to, and I thought, oh, well, it makes sense that 12-year-old me wasn't supposed to listen to that song. I didn't need to. Okay. And then you get into what people wear. And this is not about if somebody's dressing too sexy or dressing too conservative or anything like that. This is about the words we wear on a shirt. Now, one thing that happens as humans, are snap judgments. Whether we want to admit it or not, snap judgments are a thing. They happen. And so if you're wearing a shirt that has a saying on it, you're putting out that energy from that saying out into the world. And that can be beautiful, that can be lovely, or that can be stifling in other ways. And the ways are kind of hidden. Not too many people think it's as big of a situation as you think it is. For example, I have started to design and create shirts that are high vibe. They have sayings on them. They are just a high vibe energy that I want to put out into the world, because I know that I was seeing so many people out in public or sales going on, and the shirts were just snarky. And past me would have been like, oh, that's hilarious. Yes, please don't talk to me until I have my coffee. Get it, please. Or there are shirts that are like, I only like one person and my dog. Alright, well, here's the thing. Sadly, we've come to a point in life where that might be true for many people. But what is that putting out there? So you don't like anyone. That's the energy you're putting out there. And so the energy that I read when I see you wearing that shirt isn't an energy that I want to vibe with, because I'm probably not that one person you like. So I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that disconnect. I'm feeling that, like, ouch, you know? And so words matter, and what you say, what you speak, what you hear, what you read, it does impact our day, and it doesn't have to be like 1 = 1, 2 = 2. You know, it's not a mathematical equation. It's an accumulative of energy. If you want to wear a high shirt that says the better it gets, the better it gets, the better it gets, and you want to put that energy out so that every time you look in the mirror, you see yourself saying the better it gets, the better it gets, then yeah, that's the energy that you're holding. I know for so long I lived in this space of life is good, but when is the ball going to drop? When is the next medical emergency going to happen? When is, you know? And here's the thing, when you ask the question, you will always get an answer. And that answer will always hurt. Always. But when we change our vibration and we lean into sensing and feeling the energy, you start to feel and sense the energy even when you're not aware that you're doing it. The amount of time that I spend with people has changed significantly. If I choose to spend my one-on-one time with you, please know your energy is beautiful to me. It increases my energy. And that's what life is. Life is about increasing our vibration. Life is about holding this beautiful energy in a way that allows us to reach for the stars and believe in ourselves in a way that we couldn't. Because when your vibration is high, your knowing for your possibility increases. And that is the sweet spot for a beautiful life. If you're constantly worried about the fall will come and you will be right. But you won't feel any better. But if your vibe is high and you're feeling the energy around you, and you're protecting yourself from the energy around you that is not of service to you, then you're in a better place to go through the human situations that we go through as humans. And that's the difference. So when I talk about protecting your energy, what I'm saying is it starts with our choices. I'm choosing to spend my time with this. I'm choosing to do this. I'm choosing to believe that the better it gets, the better it gets, and the better it gets. And I'm choosing to know that I am enough because I am enough because I am enough. End of story. There's not a disclaimer that I have to meet. There's not this quota of success that the world deems that I would be enough. I get to be enough because I get to be enough. And that's the vibration that I want to hold on to. And that's why I've started the High Vibe Emporium. The High Vibe Emporium is having items around you in your life that are just creating a higher vibration. So we're creating boundaries to allow ourselves to have that higher vibration. But what if you're in a spot when you can't? You have to show up. It's something for work, or it's you had to go to this wedding and unbeknownst to you, the table that you were assigned is not the vibe. So how do you shift the energy for yourself and possibly help the other people? It's quite simple. You can create a boundary connecting in with your soul, and you can say, soul, create a force field around me to not allow any of this low vibe energy into my spirit, and allow me to have the beautiful time that I know I deserve. It's not about lowering the energy to other people by telling them their energy is low or they are not the vibe. It's about seeing that they're not the vibe, but creating a force field around you to protect you so that you, my dear, can shine bright. And that will illuminate the energy around you. As you go on with your day, I invite you to just feel the energy. Acknowledge it when you are out and about by yourself, with yourself. Allow yourself to feel. And then when you are out and about with others, allow yourself to feel. And if something's not vibing how you want it to vibe, create a beautiful force field around you. Go and do because you are meant to go and do. This isn't about you being better than them or them being better than you or anything like that. This is about you creating an atmosphere of energy that is oozing with light and love, and then knowing that you are already enough because you are enough and you deserve the best life possible. And so take a deep breath with me right now, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And for the next moment, allow yourself to feel. Send me a message of how you felt about this, how you feel into your days now. Did this spark anything for you? Did anything confuse you? We will dive more into the leaning of the energy. Until next time, With love and light, I'll see you later. Thank you for joining me on this episode of I Say Yes And with Alicia Larson. I hope you feel inspired and empowered to embrace your inner power and manifest the life you desire. Remember, the journey to self-discovery and empowerment is ongoing, and I'm here with you every step of the way. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us reach more souls ready to say yes to their own potential. Don't forget to follow me on social media for more insights, inspiration, and updates on upcoming episodes. Together we can create a community of empowered individuals living their dream lives. Until next time, keep saying yes to yourself, yes to your dreams, and yes to the power within you. Stay magical and keep shining your light.